Here's how to attack with Nmap. Scan, hack, and that's right, learn how to attack. Nmap Network Mapper is a popular scanner and one of the most commonly used tools during ethical hacking engagements. It's also a commonly used tool for unethical hacking engagements, but let's not talk about that. Here's the breakdown. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It's free, comes installed by default in Kali Linux as you can see. It can be downloaded on Windows, Mac, or Linux, and scanning can be as simple as typing in Nmap, enter the target IP address, and run this scan, legally and ethically, of course. But wait just a second. If this looks confusing, don't worry, because we'll do a scan with some switches together. Typing Nmap and hitting enter will show you some helpful information. Don't let it overwhelm you though. It's simple enough to understand. Here's the breakdown. Target specification lets you specify your target IP address, a host name, or a range of IP addresses. You can even have the tool ingest your target list from a file. Host discovery helps discover the available hosts on a given network, such as who's online and who's offline. Scan techniques. This is your approach of scanning the target, a karate chop, or a judo throw, or even a punch. Like fighting, sometimes techniques work and other times they fail badly. The problem with some of these techniques is that they're pretty obvious. The best is to be stealthy, like a barely heard whisper. Port specification and scan order. What ports to scan and what order to scan the target ports in. So out of the 65,535, how many do you want to scan and in what order? Service version detection. Knowing the version can make all the difference between knowing if the service that you're targeting or scanning is actually vulnerable to the potential exploit or attack, or it's not. You can also do script scans, which are a set of scripts prepared ahead of time for you and available within Nmap for you to utilize depending on the type of engagement that you're in. OS detection. Attempt to detect what operating system is being used, whether they have Mac or Windows or Linux. Timing and performance. The faster the performance, the noisier you'll be. Now from the available options, you can be either paranoid, be a little sneaky, polite, normal, aggressive, or even be a little insane. It's a balance of getting the job done as soon as possible and also being stealthy. Even if it's a white box test, you don't want to bog down the network with a ton of traffic. Firewall, IDS evasion and spoofing is self-explanatory, evasion tactics to avoid getting caught. Output. It's a great idea to save your scan results for later review. If you want the results saved in a file and in a specific way, simply define the file type. And finally, miscellaneous. This is where you define your IPv6 if you're using that, or go for an extremely aggressive scan with a -A. Now, conducting the scan is very simple. Make sure you have permission and are doing it legally. And once that's taken care of, we type nmap-pn to skip host discovery, essentially do no ping, SS for stealth scan, -P to define the ports that we want scanned, which in our case are 80, 443, 21, 22, 23, 25, and my favorite, RDP, Remote Desktop Protocol, 3389. Provide the IP address or range of IPs to be scanned, then a -T for the speed we select, a -OX for the output in XML, and provide the file name where you want the output to be saved, and hit enter. And that's it. We got our scan results in the file. We do a cat to look at the results, and from there we go into the next step of the penetration test. Always be noble in your hacks and hack ethically and legally. But let's say that someone decides to just hack illegally. Despite all the advice and knowing he could get into trouble, he enters the IP address, decides to go for a full port scan, a -A, the noisiest and loudest, makes it a T5, which is a little insane, no surprise there, and he just doesn't care. Let's see what happens next.